I'm Melinda Smith. I am the superintendent of schools here at Thompson, Connecticut. First of all, staffing of speech-language pathologists has been a critical crisis here in this region because we just don't have the personnel to apply for the positions. And so often many of those positions were vacant. And then of course, just the impact on the speech paths that we did have employed, their caseloads were up to 50 and 60 students, which is totally unmanageable. We had a staffing need, and we knew that we had more students that needed service time that we could offer. And initially, we were really looking for more speech pathologists to employ. And then the idea of the Snappy speech program was presented to us, and it's not to replace our speech pathologist. It is actually to give our students more practice. And so we needed to figure out how to provide that practice so that we could actually get them their articulation errors corrected and off an IEP. And so the idea and the programming behind Snappy Speech actually allows us to have our speech pathologists supervise that practice every day. The reason we entered into Snappy Speech, we started with what's the needs of the students. And we realized that having a child see a speech pathologist maybe 2 times a week for minor articulation issues, we knew that if they had more time, we could easily correct that. Having students that have articulation issues that really require a lot of repetitive practice, by using an extender to fill in that gap for practice actually made some sense. And really the goal was to reduce our speech pathologist caseload so that their service delivery time could be directed to students who have more intense speech and language needs. The outcomes have been amazing. The students respond really well to the repetitive practice. They love to go and work with the extender every day. It's predictable for them. Any of the issues that they've had with speech are being quickly remediated, and so therefore they're feeling good about themselves, right? They see their own progress. That is a significant outcome. Students are feeling good about themselves. Any good speech pathologist will tell you that, when you have a student that has significant language or speech needs, you want to see them more frequently. But when you have 50 or 60 students on your caseload, that's virtually impossible. And so this is bringing some relief to their tight schedules, and they're able to work with the students that really need that intensive work directly from a certified speech pathologist. The cost of Snappy Speech is really a minimal expense. And really, the program is training the extenders to deliver the practice under the supervision of a speech pathologist. And because the cost savings there, in relation to the cost of the Snappy Speech program, which is user-friendly. Our extenders can train on-site, online, and then have some face-to-face time with the folks that have put Snappy Speech together. So there's ample support there. The speech pathologist herself is really thrilled about the fact that there is ongoing professional development for her extenders, in addition to the direct instruction she's giving to monitor and implement the goals of an IEP. I think from a teacher's perspective, the Snappy Speech sessions are scheduled in. They're short periods of time, probably 10, 15 minutes at most. A student is out of the classroom, so therefore they're not missing an entire lesson, and then the teacher has to reteach for that student. My teachers here in the district want to make sure that their child is receiving the services that they need. It's a guarantee that every day that the student is going to go with the extender and have that practice. Maybe an administrator who might be thinking, is this too good to be true? Start to look at the IEP caseloads for speech and language and really start to pinpoint on those IEPs that are written for articulation issues only. And if you could remove those IEPs from a speech pathologist's caseload, how much happier would that employee be? Now you're sending a message to the general area that you're an administrator who really cares about caseloads and workplace satisfaction. That message gets out to the community, it gets messaged out to other districts. You may attract more candidates for those open positions that you have, because now you've developed a way to bring some relief to those overwhelming caseloads. I think that's an important issue. This program brings relief to those caseloads, but it services those students that need that service. And the feedback from the classroom teachers has been amazing.